Hello, welcome to the Wargamer. I'm your host, Rob, and welcome to the IGT Malaka Stat Show, where we look at event results from all around the world, and we look at the ongoing trends, the factions that are doing well, the units that are doing well, and we kind of, have a look at this. But this weekend, we're going to be looking at 466 players playing across 12 events in 10 different countries with 3 different team events. We've got Runax in Australia. We have a French team event. We also have a Czechia team event as well, which is very fun. But the thing I really would like to shout out this weekend is just the kind of diversity of the different locations that we're seeing play. We've got Australia, big Queensland event, Norway, great event with lots of people traveling from different regions, France, USA, Australia, Mexico, Czechia, Sweden, Spain, the Netherlands. So quite a few places, all playing Warhammer all at the same time was really nice. I liked that a lot. I thought that was very cool. It felt very connected. There was some fun jokes. There's some links to YouTube videos. There's some fun stuff here. As to armies and stuff that you're going to see play, we see Khorne doing really well. Gone are the days of KO. We're going to see those a couple of times. Skaven seem to be doing super well. Some Iron Jaws. Iron Jaws are back based on this week, for sure. We're going to see, did I say Seraphon? Seraphon in the mix. Do see a couple of KO. Krulboy's doing really, really well. Some big destruction monster mashes. Some cheeky deepkin. Some LRL in the mix as well. So I don't think anything overly surprising. Maybe the rise of Iron Jaws is the surprising thing. Anyway, let's go and take a look at these events. And as always, thank you to everyone on the Wargamer Patreon for helping support me. So the first event we're going to look at the first event we're going to shout out is the Runax Team Championships, which is organized every single year over in Queensland with easily always 100 players plus. It's a 4-person team event organized in Queensland. Normally it's run, I think it was organized by Matt Dale this year, but normally Gabe's involved as well. Shout out to Gabe and Matt and everyone else. So 100 people. We also have another team event to shout out in France with 48 people. This is again a 4-person team format event in France as well. So we're not going to go through those lists. We don't normally go through the list from team events because normally they're a bit skew. They're a little bit weird. They don't really help. Then they create a bit of like noise as to like running weird skew lists. But, sometimes they're just normal lists as well. But I just don't tend to cover them. So shout out to Runax and also AOS FFL2 Quest Allure for their events. So that takes us to our largest event this week, to Norway. Don't forget, this weekend alone, we have 466 players playing 2-day competitive Age of Sigmar, which is pretty good. Over 12 events, over 10 different countries. This doesn't include one-day events, people meeting up with their local friends, just play some games. And I'm sure there was a bunch more of those as well. So that's still a pretty active, healthy community. It's worth pointing out over the course of the weekend. So our first biggest event is Norway, but we're going to go to France. We go USA. We've got Australia. We've got Mexico, Czechia. We've got Sweden, USA, Spain, and Netherlands again. So first up, Norway. Now, this is a great event and so good, it's got its own YouTube video. I'm going to put a link to that YouTube video down below. It'll be the top pinned comment on this video. So go check it out. Super great to see what is an incredible gaming community, the 2D6 community based in Norway, expand and grow and develop a bigger and better gaming space for their community, which I think is great. And the leadership of that club should be really proud of themselves. So we're going to go and look at the actual results. Before that, we always shout out the event runner. So shout out to Eric Sora for running or being one of the people running the event. Looked like there were quite a few people, as well as a bunch of international visitors as well. I had some people over from England, some people over Czechia. So a bunch of different people, which is fun. All right, so if we go and look at the actual placings, because there were so many people, we can see we've got 2 undefeated or 2 5-0s in Adam Saff with Blaze of Khorne and Gear Vidal with Stormcast Eternals. We'll come back to those in a minute. And if we kind of look at the shape of the meta in the 4-1 section, we've got Krulboys and Gits and Iron Jaws. Now, Danny's an incredible player and only lost with Iron Jaws in the final round, so I'm really looking forward to seeing what that looks like. Then we've got Skaven, Sylvaneth, LRL, Skaven again, DOT, and then we've got Stormcast Eternals in here. So very much taken up by Skaven at this event, which is very cool. High pick rate. Be very excited to see if they continue to trend so successfully. It's also worth noting as well that both the Norwegian scene is very competitive. You have people traveling over, like Adam, over from Sweden. Then you had people from England as well. So you had like a good competitive amount of people over at this event. So, 2d6 Carnage, let's look at the lists. Adam, who won the event, ran a list called I Can't Transport More Than 2 Bloodthirsters to Oslo. Which is a Blades of Khorne Khornate Legion list with Restless Energy and Master of the Past with a Wrath of Khorne Bloodthirster. Then 20 Bloodletters, a Bloodthirster Insensate Rage, Karanak, Claws of Karanak, Fleshhound, Slaughter Priest, and 20 Blood Warriors. So he's got a more defensive brick, a more fighty brick, and a bunch of monsters, and he's got some units for jobs running around. Obviously, with that teleport, that's so clutch. Incredible work. Well done to Adam. That's a great result, especially with Bloodthirsters. Bloodletters. You really don't see those see play at the moment. I wonder if he would change it out going forward, or if he'd keep them in. And if we look at Gear's list, his list was called SCE Carnage. He's running Stormcast Eternal, Sentinels, Oblique Citadels list with the Manifestation Law, Forbidden Power, with Restless Energy, and Master of the Paths. He had Ynastra. I'm so annoyed. Why are people running Ynastra? She got much cheaper. I ran her before the points reduction. Just me and Ynastra need a word. We're currently mad at each other. And Night Judicator with Gryph-hounds, Unit Liberators, Unit Vigilers, Scorching Around Iridan the Witness, which is obviously super popular now for Stormcast, Prosecutors and Storm Coven, and then Vanguard Paladors with Starstrike Javelins. What I think is really interesting about Stormcast, and has been kind of true since the beginning of 4th edition, is you can pick and choose some of these units that are very good, and sometimes they fall in and out of fashion, like we saw obviously with like Krondis and Karazai and the Praetors. And then units like Liberators that became cheaper, and Soggy Iridan that got like a rules change. But Prosecutors have always been good. These Vanguard Paladors with Starstrike Javelins have also always been good, and they really outperform like a huge portion of the book. Which I think is quite interesting. So those are our two lists, Stormcast and Khorne, like it's a 1st edition launch box. So that's pretty cool. Also, Gear, 11 out of 10 human being. Right, we're going to move on to the 4-1 section, and we're going to look at Christian Brubank, who's running a list called Main Quest, make a 20-inch charge, running an Uruk Warclan's Cruel Boys list with Master Path and Restless Energy, with Kragnos, who I said last week is really making a big comeback, Breaker Boss on my Brute Trogoth, Gobsprak, Killer Boss and Corpse Ripper Vulture, then a Soggy Killer Boss, and then Braggots, Bottle Snatchers with a Rabble Rouser, Gob Blueser, Squig Herd, and Squig Hoppers. This obviously is going to give monsters run and charge, which obviously then Kragnos is going to give you a 3d6 charge. So you've got a lot of monsters run. I feel like I'm missing something. No. That's, you're just going to yeet some guys forward incredibly fast. So congratulations, Christian. Jonas Redeemer was running a list called Goblin Wheel 3 Basketballs, which is a Squiggalanch list with Restless Energy and Master Paths, with Scragrot, 2 units of Boingrot Bounders that were reinforced, a unit of Rockgut Trogoths, a unit of Sunsealer Wheelers that were reinforced. I told you those would make the way into these top-end lists. Loon Boss and Mangler Squigs, Boingrot Bounders, Soggy Spore Splatter Fanatics, and some Squig Herd, then Squig Boss and Nashta Squig, and some Scourging Garan Spore Splatter Fanatics. Like I've said, I mean, Jonas is a great player, but like I've said, I think Gits are up there as one of the top armies. Danny Elstead was running a list called One Worlds, which is an Iron Jaws Brawl list, which was running Master of the Paths and Restless Energy with Kragnos, Reinforced Brutes, Tuskboss and Maw Grunter, Zogrock, Anvil Smasher, Weird Knob Shaman, Gore Grunters, and some Weird Brute Wreckers. So the kind of downplaying, maybe, of Iron Jaws in what seems to be a much more now combat-orientated meta, and also a much faster meta because of the speed of things like Kragnos. Maybe early in the GHB, we saw a lot of armies standing off because you don't need to commit to do battle tactics early. Now, maybe what we're seeing is more people commit and put early game pressure on their opponent, maybe forcing the concept of battle tactics, maybe taking the mid-board, so it's harder to score some of the more often taken battle tactics, as well as obviously scoring primary pretty heavily as well. Pretty exciting. Very, very cool. Shout out to Danny. That's a great list. You got Oscar Jizik running a list called Ogri Alfine. I think that might be Norwegian or Swedish. I don't know. Anyway, running Skaven Fleshmill Menagerie list with Scouting Force, Inceptor Recover, with a Soggy Greystone Screaming Bell, Reinforced Doom Flares, Double Reinforced Rat Ogres is very traditional at the moment, Soggy Brood Terror, Plague Priests and Plague Furnace, Clan Rats and Plague Monks. So all of these, the Doomflayers specifically, as well as the Plague Monks, we've talked about popping up a lot recently. They're very, very popular. It's Polish, apparently. So shout out to Oscar. I assume this is Polish, but that's great results. So we also had some Polish people at the event as well. Very cool. Then we got Tomasz, who I think is also one of our Polish players. Tom Ash. Running Sylvaneth, Lords of the Clan, with Restless Energy and Master Paths, with Alariel, Soggy Drycha, then Soggy Revenant Seekers, the Twistweld, Warsong Revenant, Belthanos, and Branch Witch. Now, this is pretty different to what we've seen, although Sylvaneth players will tell you that the Drycha is super good right now. And also, they'll also talk about how much Seekers are good at the moment, which is great. So shout out to Tomasz. This is a great list. It's not very different because there's not that many Sylvaneth units really, but it's picking up on a bunch of different stuff like the Twistweld, which you don't see as much. So that's a great result. Then Kuba was running a list called Not Even 20 Elves. We're running a Lumineth Realm Lords list with Incept Recover and Master Pass with Severith, Eleanor and Elathor, and then the Soggy Light of Altharion. Some Blade Lords, one Reinforced, one not. And then Lightner, Law Seeker, the Luminor, and then the Regiment Renowned, the Saviors of Cinderfall. So this is just a solid list. A lot of mobility out of Severith as well. But this is very much on trend for what we've seen for LRL, with the exception of Severith, who we haven't seen much play. So that's a great result. Then we got Samuel Grood running a list called Radical Genius, which is a Skaven Gathering of the Clans list with Restless Energy and Scouting Force, with a Soggy Gracie and Screaming Bell, 2 reinforced units of Rat Ogres, a Soggy Giran Brood Terror, a reinforced unit of Jezzails, and then a Plague Priest on Plague Furnace, some Clan Rats, and some Plague Monks. Very cool to see. Jezzails also have kind of become very common at the minute. Skaven are just so good. So let's talk about the teleporting, actually. Let's talk about some of the armies that are doing well constantly. Teleporting or mobility, very good in this GHB. Then you got Isaac running a list called V with Fleshmail Menagerie, a Skaven Fleshmail Menagerie list, with Master Pass and Restless Energy, with Physics Scour, Rat Ogres, Rattling Guns that were reinforced, the Rattling Guns were, and the Rat Ogres were, and then a Soggy Gracie and Screaming Bell, some Clan Rats, another unit of Rat Ogres, and some Storm Vermin. Which is quite a unique pick in this list. Sometimes you see that swapped out for something else. But again, those double Rat Ogres, Rattling Guns is a little bit unique. I don't see that as much. Vizic, you definitely don't see as much. It really feels you can only combo in, well, you can combo the Rat Ogres actually pretty well. So that's cool. That's a great result as well. Love seeing Vizic in there. Then Damien Grisbeck was running a list called Magic Tricks None. Just Alpha Pin and Brawl on the middle map. Let's go, baby. Running a Disciples of Tzeentch Spellweaver Coven list with Restless Engine Wrathful Cycles, with Kairos, Chaosborn of Tzeentch, Reinforced Unit of Zangor, Reinforced Unit of Zangor Shaman, double Acolytes, and then Zangor Shaman, and then the Godsmark Ascendant getting you the Demon Prince. Genuinely a big rumble in the middle with those Zangor. And don't forget, with Destiny Dice, you can make some really scary long bomb charges. So your opponent doesn't really have an option whether or not they can get out of the way because you can guarantee it. Also, should point out the Scourge Grand Ogroid Thermitage as well. But Tzeentch are getting a couple of results in the kind of Fall 1 section this GHB since the Battle Scroll. And I think that's interesting, but they do seem to be very heavily Zangor coded. And then we've got Aslak running a list called Bastion Roar, which is a hero of the First Forge Stormcast Eternals list. So it's the Army of Renown, running Instant Recover Wrathful Cycles with Lord Commandian Bastion Carthlos, a unit of Shield Annihilators, a Knight Arcanum, a unit of Reinforced Annihilators with Hammers, Karazai, a unit of Shield Annihilators, Gardas, some Praetors, I was just saying, we're not going to see him, Knight Judicator with Grifferhounds, and some Annihilators with Shields. So lots of 2-up save Annihilator units. 9 wounds on a 2-up save for 130 points. Pretty good. Also, Annihilators on the charge. Both units actually can create strike last. So in the right situation, you could potentially make it so your opponent's going to strike last a lot. Then you've just got the big monster with Karazai, and obviously got the unit of Praetors with it. And you've got that big unit of Grand Hammers, which got even cheaper, which is crazy as well, which is great. Okay. Obviously, a fantastic event, a fantastic community, and a fantastic result for everyone at it. And I expect Norway to become at least the home of competitive and also community-led Age of Sigmar. or at least it feels that way for sure. They keep growing and expanding, and I think that's really good because they're such great community leaders. So I hope to see this event grow from size to size every year. Congratulations to everybody who went. Our next event takes us to the USA for the Battle of Bend 2025, organized by the South Bend AOS community. This is in Indiana. So if you're in Indiana, around Indiana, and you would like to, this event was also apparently a charity drive. A bunch of the money was raised for charity, which is very cool. So congratulations to the organizers there. We had 36 players battling it out, which means we ended up with two 5-0s in Michael Rouse with Fire Slayers, and then Nick Carr with Flesh Eater Courts. So old Swaggy was running a list called Gavin was playing Cruel Boys Needs More Nerfs, which is a Fire Slayers Scales of Volcatrix list with Restless Energy and Master the Paths, with a Rune Father on Magmadroth, a Soggy Auric Rune Son on Magmadroth, a Soggy Rune Son on Magmadroth, a Rune Smiter, 2 units of Berserkers with Fire Steel weapons, and then the Skyport Profiteers, making it all dwarf all the time, all the way down. Now, obviously, these have been doing incredibly well over the past few weeks, even since the Battle Scroll update didn't particularly hit them. Fire Slayers meta representation has basically never been higher. Is it the Fire Slayers that are causing a more confrontational, combat-centric game? It's a great question. Then we got Nick Carr running, and congratulations to Michael. We got Nick Carr running FEC Shamblers, a Flesh Eater Courts Impassioned Serfs list, with an Abhorrent Ghoul King Royal Terrorgeist, some Crypt Guard, and Crypt Guard both reinforced, Beast Flares, a Zombie Dragon, a Cardinal, a Crypt Haunted Courtier, a Reinforced Unit of Horrors, and then the Regiment Renowned Vermid Shamblers for Deadwalker Zombies, and a Corpse Car as well. So again, if you look, very, very combat orientated in this list. Big monsters, big support units, hard army to play because of the Holy Withins. Austin was running a list called Plenty of Hog for You, which is a Krazog's Grunter Stampede list with Restless Energy, and Incept and Recover, with Tusk Boss on more Grunter, 2 units of Gore Grunters, some more Grunter Gougers, and then a more Grunter Hacking Crew. Then another Tusk Boss on more Grunter, Gore Grunters, and 2 more Grunter Gougers. So big pigs running around in the Army of Renown, getting a 4-1, I think is a great result. Obviously, over the course of Age of Sigmar 4, this has become cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. Then Rob Molshine was running a list called Where Do I Put My Crayons, which was a Cruel Boys Swamp Horde Bullies list with Restless Energy and Scouting Force, with a Killer Boss and Cult Ripper Vulture, a Beast Skewer Killboy, 2 units of Gut Rippers, a Marsh Crawler Sluggoth, Swamp Caller Shaman, and then 3 Monster Killers, and then a Merc Knob with Belcher Banner, and 2 Manskewer Bolt Boys. Cruel Boys in a great position. The big balance update that they suffered did not hit them. I don't want to say enough. I think it hit them enough, but I think it left them on the top of the pile of the best armies in the game. And I think they're a hard army to play, very high skill cap and skill expression to run. But congratulations to Rob for doing so. Then Jonathan Williams was running Trogs and Wolves, which is a Gloam Spike Gits, some by a pack list with a Trune to Gran and Restless Energy, with Scragrot, 2 lots of 6 Rock Guts, Drogs, 2 units of Reinforced Snarpack Cavalry, Snarl Boss and War Wheeler, the Sun Stealer Wheelers, and then a Snarl Boss as well. So obviously with the points reductions and also the big FAQ to the Sun Stealer Wheelers, this army has exploded both in popularity and its ability to perform really well. And Justin Copel was running a list called Double Dads, which is an OCR Bone Reapers Mortex Phalanx list with Incept and Recover and Restless Energy, with Catacross, 2 reinforced units of Morghast Archai, and then Arcan the Black in the list. Full send all summer on a 4-1. If you would like an army that's quick and easy, not an easy to paint, but you don't want to have to paint too many models, an army that is only 10 models is here for you. And Bone Reaper's also in the mix as well. We haven't seen any Soulblight Gravelords so far this week, which I think is interesting. We've only seen a couple of Flesh Eater Courts, but definitely feels like we've seen a lot of Skaven and we've seen a lot of Iron Jaws, Gits, Cruel Boys at the moment. So that's something to keep an eye on. No Stormcast at this event, some Stormcast at the last event, no Khorne at the last event, lots of Skaven at the last event. So some very different kind of evolved metas in Indiana and in Norway. Our next event takes us over to Australia for the SAGT 2025, organised by Josh Clark. This had 28 players in attendance and took place at the Dragon Lairs Hobby and Gaming location in Edwardstown in South Australia. So if you ever want to go around this region, looks like a nice little area to go do some hobby. There's some like cafes and shops nearby, a bit of an industrial area, but it looks really nice. Shout out to Dragon's Lair. I hope you guys go from strength to strength. So looking at the actual results, we've only got a 5-0 from Seraphon, which you were not expecting. Neither was I. Although, keeping on trend, past couple of weeks, we have seen Seraphon hit the top tables. We did talk about, since the Battle Scroll update, whether or not we'd see skink maxing be a thing. So I'm excited to see if that is what we're going to see in the list. Although Croak, I think, has made a return as well. So I expect to see Croak and then maybe a bunch of Agrodons, maybe a bunch of Crocs, but maybe we're skink maxing, we'll see. So shout out to Mark. Then we've got Nighthorn, definitely very good at the minute. Flesh-Eater Courts and Deepkin in the list. So I expect Deepkin to be all sharks. But Flesh-Eater Courts, very successful over the past few weeks. Nighthorn also very successful over the past few weeks. Let's take a look at the list, shall we? So Mark was running a list called KFC, Croak Fried Chicken, which is a Seraphon Shadow Strike Star Host list with Wrathful Cycles in Scepter Recover with Croak, Reinforced Unit of Lancers, Reinforced Unit of Croxigore, then a Skink Star Priest, and then Skink Maxim, baby, double Raptidon Chargers, then a Hunters of Haunchy with Dart Pipes in the list as well. Very cool, very cool. I think this is absolutely up there. This is a very competitive list that you could play around at the minute. Maybe it doesn't do super well into like high wound cap metas, but great work from Mark. Looking at the 4-1 section, we're looking at Kyle's Nighthorn list called, I just finished painting 48 Glaive Ray Stalkers, but Games Workshop didn't want to allow me to have fun with my Legends units before I couldn't use them anymore. So I can't be fucked painting anymore, and this is what I got. Which is a Nighthorn list with Quicksilver Geists as the as the battle formation, with Master Pass Restless Energy, with Lady Olinda, Reinforced Unit Chain Rasps, Reinforced Unit Dreadscythe Harridans, double Pyregeists, then Kruggeist Cruciator, Bladegeist Revs, and some Pyregeists as well. Nighthorn has an interesting position in the meta right now in that Pyregeists are obviously super, super cheap. We've seen spammed Pyregeists lists do really well, as well as some of the other units are also very good. But I think more than anything, the playstyle for Nighthorn is one that is seeing a drop-off in meta representation. People have the armies, they have them fully painted, like Kyle, but maybe they're just not enjoying the playstyle. And that's why we're seeing that meta rep literally nosedive at the moment. But well done to Carl for doing so well. Matthew Slattery is running a list called Come Join the Grand Illusion, which is an FEC Impassioned Surf list with with Master Paths and Restless Energy. Then we've got an Abhorrent Ghoul King Royal Terrorgeist, some Crypt Flayers, some Crypt Horrors that were reinforced, an Infernal Courtier, some more Beg Knights. You don't see them tons at the moment. A Cardinal, Crypt Flayers, Crypt Ghouls, and some Crypt Guard that were reinforced as well. FEC are just so solid right now. And interestingly, we're seeing a slight move away from always seeing Usharan. And that Abhorrent Ghoul King Royal Terrorgeist just having a big impact in the game. Although, that said, last week we saw tons and tons of Usharan. So this could just be like a 1 week thing. And then Jared Haggard was running a list called, I really wanted to play a balanced list with various synergies and unit types. I really enjoy that playstyle and answer for everything you know. So anyway, Nodge peer pressured me into this year. Don't be mad at me, be mad at him. That's an Achillean Beastmasters Agnet Deepkin list with Master Paths and Restless Energy, with Volturnus, 3 reinforced units of Morsar Guard, an Eidolon Aspect to the Storm, and 2 units of 3 reinforced units of Morsar Guard, and then 2 units of Ishling Guard as well. Now, what's interesting about this is pretty unique from what we've been seeing over the past few weeks. It's pretty much all sharks, or the Alapexes. So Jared might feel that he's got a pretty on-the-nose list, but actually it's very different to what we have been seeing. Yeah, this is skink maxing for elves. This is eel maxing. This isn't what we've seen commonly across the world, so it actually feels fairly unique to us looking at the results at the weekend. So pretty cool. Jared, I love that. I hope everyone at SAGT had a great event. Hope to see that event continue. Really hope to see Dragon's Lair Hobbies and Gaming grow and increase as a gaming space and be super successful. So if you're around that region in South Wales, so Edwardstown, you get the chance to go, you should go check it out. Anyway, let's look at the next event. Our next event takes us to Mexico. Specifically, this takes us to, I think, Mexico City. So Canal de Montes. So our location is around here, so Mexico City. So if you're in Mexico, you're one of our Mexican listeners, and you want to drop a comment below, maybe you can connect with each other, maybe build and grow the community. That said, it's a pretty big event. The Poison Dice event had 28 players in attendance, organized by Daniel Islas. So a big shout out to Daniel for organizing this. If we take a look at the results and we've got no 5-0s, we've got a bunch of 4-1s. So we've got LRL, Nighthorn, Iron Jaws again. Iron Jaws is a successful, a success story from this week, but always in that kind of 4-1 category. And then Fire Slayers. So LRL, being run by Eduardo Rodriguez, his list isn't it called Elves Are Too Elite Now, which was a Lumineth Realm Lords Scenario Council list with Master Pass and Restless Energy, with a Soggy Light Voltharion, Reinforced Sentinels, Reinforced Blade Lords on Riverblades, and Enlightener, Cathalar in the list. A bunch of the different heroes. Double Reinforced Blade Lords and some Sentinels. A lot of shooting. Very cool. LRL making a big impact down there. Alberto Lopez was running a list called Phantasmus, which is a Nighthaunt Deathstalkers list with Restless Energy and Tune to Garan, with Lady Alinda, some Bladegeist Revs, Reinforced Grimghast Reapers, Reinforced Bladegeist, not Reinforced Grimghast. Double Pyregeist, Krulgeist Cruciator, double Bladegeist, and some Mimron Banshees as well. Mimorn Banshees, however you want to say it. That's cool. Well done to Alberto. More Nighthaunt in the mix as well. Then we've got Rodrigo Castillo running a list called Brutos Barbahane, I think, which is an Uruk Warclans Iron Jaws list with Master Pass and Restless Energy, with Godrak, more Grunter Gougers, Tusk Boss on more Grunter, then a War Chanter, a reinforced unit of Brutes, and then a Soggy Garan Weird Brute Wreckers, Weird Knob Shaman, our boys, and reinforced unit of Brutes as well. Double Brutes reinforced, a Tusk Boss making it into the meta all the time. Iron Jaws, are they just back? Is this the answer? Let me know. And then Ivan Moreno was running a list called Los Pepes y sus Iguanas de Tierra Caliente. Shout out to Ivan, who sent us a fantastic video called Los Arroyos de Guapano. I think El Bel de la Iguana. I think it's a video at me, Rob, Don Anisto. That's what I call myself now, Don Anisto. We've discovered that this is a video about, we think, a sexy iguana or a sad iguana who's trying to get a mate. That's the name of that's the theme of the video. So we haven't played it for copyright purposes, unfortunately. But thank you to Ivan for sending us down a road I did not expect to go down today, and I enjoyed it. So thank you. So we're going to look at the list. It's a Fire Slayers Scales of Volcatrix list with Inceptor and Cover and Restless Energy. We have an Auric Runefather on Magmadroth, and that's called Don Pepe. Then we have a Soggy Auric Runeson on Magmadroth called Jose Juan. Then we have a Soggy Auric Runeson on Magmadroth called Jose Manuel. Then we have a Soggy Auric Runeson on Magmadroth called Jose. Then we have a Soggy Auric Runeson on Magmadroth called Jose Francisco. And then we have a Soggy Auric Runeson on Magmadroth called Jose Enrique, after one of my favorite singers from that region. Pretty cool. Lots of big Magmadroths, but more importantly, incredible video. Fire Slayers still doing well. I told you, top of the pops. They're doing really good. Fantastic to see such a big event from Mexico. I hope to see that increase. I'd like to see more pictures and videos or anything like that. If you can send me anything from any of these regions when you do events, I love seeing all of your communities grow and prosper. That's great. Special shout out from me, Don Anisto. Let's look at the next event. So there was also a team event I forgot to point out also in Czechia. The Turnage Tree with 24 players battling out. Like I said, we don't really cover them, but congratulations to them. It seems like the Lone Wolves, won the event, but the Giran Protectors were also undefeated as well. So I hope they all had a fantastic time. And shout out to Jan for organizing the event, which means that takes us to Sweden for the Realm of Geddon Boras Spellkonvent, which is a 24-person Swedish event. And if we take a look at the lists, slightly different because it's on a different website, we can see that Flesh Eater Courts is our undefeated 5 wins, run by Eric Sala, running Ghoul King and Sala and Co., which is a Flesh Eater Courts nightly echelon list with Instant to Recover Restless Energy, with a Abhorrent Ghoul King Royal Terrorgeist, Crypt Ghouls, Crypt Horde Courtier, and some Morbeg Knights. Then an Abhorrent Gore Warden, some Crypt Horrors, and some Crypt Horrors both reinforced. And then, so that's everything from that list. Again, Ushran going down, Abhorrent Ghoul King rising up. If we take a look at Stormcast Eternals, which is one of our 4 and 1s, which was a list called An Ogre's Wet Dream, which was a Sentinels of Bleak Citadels list with Master Pass and Scepter Recover, the Lord Vigilant or Griftstalker, Guard of Steel Soul, double Reclusians, a Lord Terminos, Annihilators and Meteoric Grandhammers, a Lord Imperator, Annihilator, some Storm Coven, and some Vigilers in the list as well. So they've made the Annihilators and Grandhammers cheap enough now that they are starting to see more and more play. Then Tim Scogland in 4-1 was running Gloomspike Gits with a list called a Pumper Wagoner Fuller, which is a Squigalanch list with Wrathful Cycles and Scouting Force. It's got Scragrot, Reinforced Troggoths, Doomdiver Catapult, which is the second time we've seen that in the past couple of weeks. A unit of Sunsealer Wheelers, but not reinforced. A Boingrot Bounders unit, not reinforced. Then a Fungoid Cave Shaman, double Loon Smasher Fanatics, some Spore Splatter Fanatics, then a Squig Boss with Nasher Squig, some more Loon Smasher Fanatics. They did get cheaper. And then Boingrot Bounders that were reinforced, and a Squig Herd as well. That's 3 units of Loon Smasher Fanatics, and not the soggy versions as either. The Scourge Garan versions. I find that to be fascinating. That is really interesting. We also got another Gloomspike Gits, I told you, from Sebastian Helberg, running a Sunbiter pack with Drogs, 5 Spore Splatters, or a unit of Spore Splatters, 3 units of Snarlpack Cavalry, a Snarl Boss, a Wolf Git Retinue, 2 Snarfang Rider units, and then a Frazzle Git Shaman, a War Wheeler, and a Doom Diver Catapult as well. Very interesting. So this is all of the Sunbiter stuff, all of the Git stuff that was released earlier in the year, and the reinforced units of Snarlpack Cavalry are now making a lot of waves in the community, which I think is super interesting. Great event. That's cool to see. I hope everyone had a great time. Let's go look at our next event. Our next event is called the Mad Alpacalypse Age of Sigmar Major. This was organized by Zachary Bailey, and it takes place at the Dixon May Fair at the Fairgrounds, which is the county fair region, which the chat have just been informing me lots about. If you've ever been to a county fair, let me know. Let me know your favorite county fair. I'm now county fair curious, and I'd like to go to one day. Never been to one. Okay, so this event was run by Zachary Bailey, like I said. And if we take a look at the results, we can see we've only got one undefeated, and that's Tad Batten with the Cruel Boys Army. The Cruel Boys Army being run by Tad was a list called The Moist Menace. Cruel Intentions 2 Electric Boogaloo, which is a Cruel Boys Swamp Horde Bullies list with Master Pass and Restless Energy, with a Breaker Boss and Myboot Troggoth, 2 reinforced units of Gut Rippers, some Cruel Boys Monster Killers, and some Marshcrawler Sloggoth. And then a Stormcaller Shaman, double Monster Killers, some Manscale Ball Boys, and then a Soggy Grand Killer Boss and Great Gnashtooth, and then a Merc Knob with a Belcher Banner. Like I say, Cruel Boy is still absolutely in that top bracket. Then we got the Riz Shaman running a list called Karizdron Battle Formation, which is a Karizdron Overlords veteran ground troops. First time we've seen KO, by the way, this week, with Master Pass and Scepter Recover, with Brock, an Arcanaut Company that was reinforced, a reinforced unit of Engine Riggers, a unit of Thunderers, unit of Sky Wardens, an Admiral, Engine Master and Dirigible Suit, reinforced Engine Riggers, Drekkie Flint Arcanaut Company, and a Frigate. So quite a lot of infantry on the board here, but not reinforcing a lot of them, and instead going for a bunch of multiple small units is quite unique to these. And we've also got Andrew Wood running a Blades of Corn army, running Wrathful Cycles, Restless Energy. This is a what battle formation is this? Doesn't say, unless I'm missing it. It doesn't say, but it's running a Wrath of Corn Bloodthirster with 2 lots of 20 Bloodletters reinforced. Now, this is the second time we've seen this week. Reinforced unit of Blood Crushers, and then a Karanak, 2 Claws of Carnage, some Fleshhounds, all for doing jobs, Skull Taker, Slaughter Priest, and a Skull Ultra as well. Very interesting to see the Bloodletters, and again, that Bloodthirster in the mix. Super exciting to see. So Cruel Boys, KO, first time. Blaze of Corn still on the table. Corn maybe better than we gave them credit for. Very cool. Our next event takes us to Spain, where we have I think, IGT Malaka and Guerra event organized by El Has. I'm going to say El Has. So this took place around here. In Malaga, yeah. So if you ever get a chance to go to Malaga or you want to go play some games around there are some people organizing Warhammer tournaments, so go check it out. If we take a look at the results, we've got Stormcast Eternals undefeated. Then we've got Seraphon and also Karajan Overlords as well. So that marks our second time we've seen Seraphon and second time we've seen Karajan Overlords. So both of those in there is pretty cool. So if we go take a look at our first list, Alfonso Pierago was running a list called Iridan Ipaladors, which is a Stormcast Eternals Sentinels Oblique Citadel list with Master Pass and Intercept and Recover. And then we've got the Soggy Iridan the Witness, Reinforced Paladors with Star Strike Javelins, Reinforced Raptors with Long Strike Crossbows, Lord Terminos, Quest of Soulsworn, Reclusians, and Vigilers in the list as well. So I find the Long Strikes still being played very interesting. Lord Terminos with a Quicksilver Draft and Reclusians name a better combo. And then the Soggy Iridan the Witness really shaping it up. And also those Star Strike Javelins, which you saw do really well in Norway as well. Then we got Marcos Segovia running a list called My Lumineth Are Grey. That's why I don't play them. Running a Seraphon list in a Sunclaw Star Host with Master Pass and Intercept and Recover, with Croak, a Sunblood pack, a Reinforced Unit of Crocscore, a Reinforced Unit of Agrodon Lancers, and then the Regiment of Renown, the Skyport Profiteers. Very cool. Very cool. Also seeing that in play in a Seraphon list. Seraphon might be on the rise, might be making a comeback, which is surprising me personally, but I think it's all the Croak play. Then we got Goyo Bonilla running a list called Torneo 2d6 Malaka and Guerra, running Master Pass Intercept Recover with an Arcanaut Admiral, an Arcanaut Company, an Arcanaut Ironclad, some Gunstruck Thunderers, and a Von Grimm Harpoon Crew, and then a Soggy Garan Kodrai, Arcanaut Company, Skywardens, both reinforced, and an Engine Master with Engine Harness as well. KO in the mix again. Hope everyone in Spain had a great time. And I hope we see more events coming out of that region as well. Also, just worth noting as well, because I've got some kind of infield reporting here. Alfonso has been playing that Stormcast list for a long time, so our Stormcast first place. And he's like something like 13 wins, 2 draws in the last 3 GTs he's been to. So Stormcast definitely can be played at a high level and a top level. So it's worth pointing that out because I think, you're seeing Stormcast not necessarily played in certain regions, but we saw it in Norway, very competitive space. We saw that there. Now we see it in Spain. Very cool to see. Our last event is the Threshold Tactics Invitational, which was also streamed on their YouTube channel if you want to go check it out. Run by Tom Medgens, lovely fella, running the Threshold Tactics Invitational. And if we take a look at the results, we can see Magikin, Nurgle, Karajan Overlords, and Skaven. So Michael Jacobs was running a list called Behold My Beautiful Affliction, a Magikin of Nurgle Affliction Sys list with Master Pass and Raffle Cycles, with a Lord of Afflictions, a Lord of Afflictions, a Lord of Afflictions, a Harbinger of Decay, a Harbinger of Decay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Lords of Affliction. Obviously, this is a character with good armor save and a ward save, and because it's on a big fly, it's pretty fast. But we're back. There you go. There's also 7 auxiliary units, which is narrative. I just want to point that out there. I'm sure people are going to be very okay with that list. Then we got Paul Dam running a list called Karajan Overlords. A Karajan Overlords list with Pioneers and Scavengers, Master Pass and Restless Energy, with Brock Grungson, a frigate, Reinforced Skywardens ×2, a Null Chemist, a frigate, a Von Grimm Harpoon Crew, and some Von Grimm Salvagers. Great to see KO still in the mix. And Daryl Peacock is running a list called Rogers, which was a Gathering of the Clans, Restless Energy Scouting Force list with a Soggy, Grayson, and Screaming Bell, some Night Runners, Rat Ogres again, both reinforced, a Scourging Grand Brood Terror, a Plague Priest on Plague Furnace, and double Plague Monks as well to round us off for the week. This week is very interesting in that it feels defined by where you're playing. If we take a look at Norway, Skaven seem massively in ascendant, and then we didn't really see them for the rest of the stat show or in all of the other locations. We saw Khorne, smatterings of Khorne, and Carriage and Overlords, and Iron Jaws. Iron Jaws definitely featured very heavily early on, which I thought was interesting. Crawlboy's still in the mix as well. The Iron Jaws rise, I think, needs to be studied. Croak making it back and skink maxing, I think, is a thing. I think that's definitely in there. We didn't see any Slaves of Darkness this week. After last week, we started to see more and more Slaves of Darkness, which I thought was kind of weird. Because we were on a kind of rise there. OCR Bone Reapers we saw once. Flesh Eater Courts we saw a couple of times. We saw OCR Bone Reapers kind of rising up, but then they've kind of dropped off as well. So yeah, there's been a lot of fluctuation, between last week or last couple of weeks and this week. And I assume we're going to see a bit of fluctuation last week as well. So I guess it really matters what's happening in each region, what's happening with each community, and what really is the major threats and what's happening right now. That'll obviously all come to a head at some of the events like the World Team Championships that we'll see next year. So that'll be really fun. And I can't wait to see what happens when all these international communities come to arrive together and start playing. And also we're likely to see some big updates as we move into Christmas. Probably going to see some new War Scroll updates. And also on Friday, which I'll be live streaming if you want to check it out, I'll be live streaming the reveal show on Twitch, the Honest Wargamer Twitch, which you can give that a follow. Honest Wargamer Twitch will be live streaming the reveals where we're likely to see the new Nurgle announced and a bunch of other stuff as well. So pretty exciting time for Age of Sigmar. And it does feel like lots of armies are in the mix. There were some armies that were missing, sure. And I'm sure you're going to comment on those. But I don't think there's anything I've seen missing the past couple of weeks, if you take them all together and go watch a bunch of them. So yeah, it feels like it's in a good spot. We'll do another stat show soon. Thanks for watching. And thanks to everyone on the Honest Wargamer Patreon. See you soon. Bye.